Okay, deep divers, get ready to launch into the latest scene from Twin Power. Remember that cliffhanger we left off on? A daring wormhole escape, a crash landing. And now we find out what happens when Maia, Alec, and Aida find themselves stranded in a whole new galaxy.
Talk about a change of pace. Instead of battling the Grekoin fleet, they're suddenly faced with the most fundamental challenge of all: survival. It's almost like the story is hitting the reset button, giving us a chance to see these characters in a completely different light.
I love that you see a reset button and not just impending doom. I mean, there's hope for me yet, but seriously, put your finger on something really interesting. The scene starts with a description of the crash site. Tall pines, a faint breeze. It's almost peaceful. Does this feel like a deliberate contrast to the action-packed scenes we've seen so far?
Absolutely. It's almost as if the writers are intentionally creating a sense of calm before the storm, or maybe a sense of the everyday amidst the extraordinary. And that contrast highlights the emotional roller coaster the twins must be on. One minute they're facing imminent capture, the next, they're trying to figure out where they are and how they're going to survive.
Right. It's giving Lost in the Woods, but make it intergalactic.
Yeah.
And speaking of figuring out where they are, Aida drops a bombshell pretty early on. She tells the twins they're far beyond the outer rim of our galaxy. Talk about an understatement. How do you think this line impacts the stakes of the story?
Well, for starters, it confirms that wormhole wasn't just a quick jaunt to the next star system over. They are well and truly out of their depth, facing the unknown on a scale they couldn't have imagined.
You said it, we were talking about a whole new galaxy with its own laws of physics, its own forms of life, maybe even its own rules of reality. It's mind-boggling. And speaking of mind-boggling, can we talk about those wormholes for a second? I mean, they're a staple of science fiction, but this scene makes them feel so real. What are your thoughts?
It's interesting you should say that, because the way the scene blends those fantastical elements with the twins' very human reactions is incredibly effective. We get that sense of wonder, but it's grounded in their fear, their confusion, their determination to survive.
Totally. And, if I were in their shoes, I think I'd be freaking out a little. What about you? Would you be brave enough to step through a wormhole, knowing you might end up well anywhere?
Knowing me, I'd probably be more worried about losing my glasses in the process. But seriously, it's a question that makes you think. What would it take to push you beyond your comfort zone?
Ooh, that's a good one. You're full of them today. But back to the twins. They react to this situation in very different ways. We see Maia, ever the pragmatist, immediately spring into action, assessing their surroundings. Alec, on the other hand, seems almost amused by the whole thing.
It's a fascinating dynamic, and it speaks volumes about their personalities. Maia, always the planner, is focused on the immediate threat, while Alec, the optimist, sees this as an adventure, a chance for discovery. And that difference in perspective is going to be really interesting to watch play out.
Totally. Especially considering the challenges they're about to face. We're talking survival mode on an alien planet, right? Limited resources, unknown dangers. How do you think their individual strengths and weaknesses will come into play here?
Well, Maia's practicality and resourcefulness will definitely be assets. She's the one who's going to figure out how to build a shelter, find food and water, keep them safe. Alec, on the other hand, his optimism and adaptability might be just as important. In a situation where it would be easy to give in to despair, his ability to stay positive, to find humor, even in the darkest of times, could be what keeps him going.
It's like that old saying, you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe those seemingly frivolous hologames Alec loves so much might actually have taught him a thing or two about problem solving under pressure.
Okay, I see your point. But what about Aida? She's a wild card in all of this.
Yeah.
What role do you think she'll play in their survival?
Aida is a fascinating character because she represents both a source of knowledge and a potential liability. Her dataset is vast, but if her connection to Earth's networks is compromised, as the text suggests that knowledge might be limited, we see her trying to access those networks, searching for something. But what?
Ooh, good question. Is she looking for a way to contact their fleet? A map of this new galaxy? Or maybe, just maybe, she's searching for information on how to survive on this planet, which begs the question, is this even the first time E has dealt with a situation like this?
Intriguing. And it raises another question: how much does Aida know, and how much is she choosing to reveal to the twins?
Ooh, secrets in AI. This is getting good. I'm totally on the edge of my seat here.
As am I, though, in a slightly less demonstrative fashion, perhaps.
That's right. You can't help but be intrigued by this. But speaking of intrigue, let's talk about the ending of this scene. Aida mentions finding them refuge, which is just asking for us to speculate wildly. What's your take on that line? Refuge from what exactly?
That, my friend, is the million credit question, isn't it? Is there a threat we haven't seen yet? Is this new planet not as welcoming as it seems, or is Aida hinting at something even more significant? Remember, she also mentioned the possibility of the wormhole transporting them to a different dimension in space-time?
Don't even get me started on different dimensions. My brain can only handle so much speculation in one sitting. But you're right that one line throws open a whole new can of wormholes, so to speak.
Indeed, and it's a testament to the writer's skill that they managed to pack so much intrigue into such a short scene.
It's like they took all the best parts of a space opera, a survival thriller, and a good old-fashioned mystery, and blended them together with a healthy dose of what's going to happen next.
Don't forget the dash of family drama we're anticipating between the twins. Their differing personalities and coping mechanisms under pressure, set against this backdrop of a completely alien world. It's a recipe for compelling storytelling.
You make a great point. Even with the fate of the galaxy hanging in the balance, it's that human element, those relationships, those struggles, those small moments of humor and resilience that really draw us in as readers.
Precisely. And it's why this scene, despite being relatively short on action, feels so pivotal. It's a turning point for the twins both individually and as a unit. They're stripped down to their core, forced to rely on each other in ways they never have before.
It makes you think about what you would do in their situation.
Mm-hmm.
How would you react to being stranded in a strange new world, cut off from everything familiar? It's easy to say, oh, I'd be the brave one or I'd be the resourceful one, but when you're faced with the unknown,
our true natures are revealed. We see the raw edges, the vulnerabilities, but also the unexpected strength that emerge when we're pushed to our limits. And that, I believe, is what the writers are inviting us to explore with this new chapter in Twin Power.
Exploration. I like that. It's not just about survival, it's about discovery. Discovery of this new world, discovery of themselves, discovery of the possibilities.
Beautifully put. And what better guide for that exploration than a pair of twins connected by a bond that transcends even the vastness of space?
Ooh, I like where you're going with this. Yeah. And speaking of connections, we can't forget about Aida. Is she friend-foe or something in between? Will she be the key to unlocking the secrets of this new galaxy? Or will she become another obstacle for the twins to overcome?
Such tantalizing questions. And I'm afraid the writers have left us with the ultimate cliffhanger for now. But I have a feeling the answers when they come will be well worth the wait.
Well, deep divers, there you have it. A crashed spaceship, a mysterious planet, and a whole lot of unanswered questions. What do you think lies ahead for Maia, Alec, and Aida? Will they find refuge, as Aida hinted? Will they encounter other intelligent life forms? Or are there even bigger surprises in store?
We want to hear your thoughts. What resonated with you most in the scene? What are your predictions for the future of Twin Power? Head over to the comment section and let's keep this conversation going.